This is disgusting. This is some of the most disgusting shit, because you know what? It happens all the time. Every fucking day. Every day. Every day. So many. Now, I'm not talking about all police officers, but look. Everybody has the capability to abuse this kind of power. I mean, how many times, now we're talking about different situations here, so please don't let the straw manning begin. Now, I'm not talking about all cops, but I'm talking about a lot of fucking cops, okay? These people, these brutal, bully motherfuckers that decide to stay in police work, do police work or stay in police work because they love the power. They love the authority. They love to be able to exert their will, their power, their authority, and control over you. That's why many of these individuals do it, and that's why they abuse the law. These police officers broke the law, like so many other fucking police officers all over the country every day do. What the fuck are these people thinking? What the fuck are these people thinking?
Forgive me if I stumble over my words. I have no time to package this and make it pretty. I'm sick and tired of all of the crap. The violence that assaults my frontal lobe daily, the bullshit from politicians, internal affairs, police officers, and ineffectual media that is on the take. We need to talk. Are you listening? You are not waiting to talk, I hope. This video response is brought to you via a redirect of my attention by the critically thinking savage, known to many as MCon 2112. I was going to wait until my anger diminished, but my anger will never subside when dealing with abuses of power. Life can be hard, and as I have said many times, we do not need outside forces making it harder. For those listening to the sound of my voice, heed my words. At this rate, the more tragedies that pile up, they will not be televised unless it will have an impact on commerce or the local image. Whether positive or negative, the greater society at large does not care what happens regarding police brutality. Let's get this straight from the jump. This talk is not a caveat which laps around a well-worn media groove. This is bigger than what is promoted for sale. This is a human rights issue. So let's not allow ourselves to be twisted because yours truly is a black male. I have already acknowledged long ago that the value of black males in America has been shrunken to those that can produce windfalls of profit for others. So with that said, let's move on. Disrespect for justice, a foot on the neck to assert authority, reinforcement of disconnect between one person to another, sadistic sociopathic masturbations, and this Gestapo mentality. This is your meal. Eat it up. Let it be known that I understand the police have an undesirable job to do. They face disgusting realities. They see the worst in humanity, and in many cases, they have to process this ugliness and the constant reinforcement of distrust daily. However, we have a widespread outbreak of barbarous acts, downright psycho behavior from the very people whose image has been pumped up so you believe in them. There is an external, overly inflated trust building to encourage you to continue the internal doublespeak and maintaining a love-hate relationship with law enforcement. This is not Sheriff Andy Taylor in the Andy Griffith Show, nor is it Beretta Prime Suspect, Kojak, Criminal Minds, or Hill Street Blues. So we need to bleach the stains of those Hollywood indoctrinations from your cellular memory. Yes, there are good officers that want our neighborhoods to be free of crime. However, there is dishonor lurking in the shadows of some of our finest. We cannot turn a blind eye to it. There are some neighborhood terrorists pretending to be policemen. Unjustified shootings, police beatings, employing dangerous restraint techniques to subdue suspects, and systematic patterns of abuse across America. Have we been so processed, our sensitivity to violence so numbed, that this becomes business as usual? We remember Oscar Grant because he is relevant to our discussion, because this is a recent atrocity within the minds of the residents of the United States of amnesia. I do not see Oscar Grant as some poster child for racism conspiracy theories. Need I remind you, this is a human rights concern. But do take note, he will never have the ability to feel the sun on his skin, to see another sunset or another sunrise, murdered by a representative of the law. The scales were not balanced to produce fair treatment. Justice did not operate in blindness to assure proper procedural actions. I have seen firsthand repeated accounts where officers are not held accountable or have only been given a slap on the wrist for wrongdoings. For a select group who wear the uniform, their prejudices, bias, and a turbulent emotional landscape will always be in the background while doing their work. That is something they allow. We all are affected by police brutality. Though it has been proven certain groups are disproportionately so, we are all still affected. You may ask, how can I be affected when I was not harmed? Because it is allowed, because it exists, and any injustice not observed, labeled, and surgically removed moves like a rapid infection metastasizing in the body public. For those who are sleepwalking, see only the pictures the media presents, and who think the majority of police officers are fine, this isn't a numbers game. It is not something we have the privilege of turning our backs on because of a few rotten apples. You can take off your thinking cap, bury your head in the sand, and think they do their jobs the way they are supposed to be done and aren't combative or abusive. You can keep telling yourself the ones who are abusive, and this includes all ethnic groups, not just white cops, okay, tend to be abusive to everybody. You would be partially correct. Most assholes don't distinguish between their prey. Though some may be tastier morsels due to worldview, for those in dreamland who think a public sensitivity class will take care of the problem and not thorough psychological screenings, background checks prior to their employment as peace officers, to check for signs of abusive behavior in their past and present, then it's obvious you are willing to play Russian roulette. If you are on the sidelines thinking a citizen review will not bring benefits of an immeasurable value, including building bridges among people that used to be in opposition within the community and the police, enhancing trust in police actions, and improved citizen-police relationships, then I don't know what to tell you. Then you are sidelined for a reason if you have that attitude. You are asleep, dreaming, with your head up your ass thinking it's a few rotten apples. Do you know this excessive force and police savagery has been a focus of Amnesty International? For those of you who do not know Amnesty International, it's an international non-governmental organization. The people in this group conduct research and act to end and to preclude grave abuses of human rights. These brave souls also demand justice for those who have been violated. People, the solution will come from people like you and me. People who organize themselves to make a difference directly. History, recent and otherwise, has shown this is more than a few isolated incidents. Can't you see there is an established pattern of aggression where innocent people are singled out and violated? There is no longer sound bites of abuse that revolves around the black male collective. Today, certain police officers in question of such vile, despicable behavior could just as easily be a person of color acting in response to another person of color, generating the same conclusion. So let's not misplace our focus on external forces, thereby being hoodwinked and not dealing with the source of the problem. If you have a child, before you send him or her out into the world, there are things you do to make sure all runs well. You do not put your responsibility as a parent on another person. You understand it's going to be an investment of your time and energy. You are actively involved with the child's development. You check in and you let your expectations be known in a concise and clear manner, and you hold that child responsible for their actions. You don't make excuses, and being an abject failure is not permissible. Do you hear me? Do you understand? The root of the protest is human rights. I'm going to repeat that. The root of the protest is human rights. It's your time to speak. Make your voice heard and do not burn hard, hot, and quick. Burn slow, with direction and a steady pace. Hold law enforcement accountable by going through specific channels. Responding politically is the best way to ensure justice when an injustice like this occurs. Remember, your actions are time sensitive. You must be timely to be effective. Think and act on organizing or joining a group that can be mobilized if needed. If you cannot do this, then be active in organizing demonstrations. Even if you deem it to be a superficial action, know that it can carry strength. If you do nothing else to help, then defend the person who was violated and challenge police in the media. Outside of focusing on helping the person harmed, you are trying to orchestrate an ongoing climate of resistance to police brutality in its many forms.